Who will see a beauty like this and would not want to make sure they learn how to create it? Hi, and my name is Udurole Mojibola, and I am a shoemaking made easy tutor. Today, of course, I'm going to be igniting your passion for creativity again, and also teaching you how to reduce your family expenses on footwear. Let's build a new stream of income as we look at this open toe design. Of course, it's a heel and it's so perfect for children. If you're watching for the first time, don't forget to subscribe, and I want you to know that all we do is make shoemaking easy and simple for you. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you patiently sit while we go through this long video. It's actually a long one, and I tell you, it's a deliberate one. I am going to be right away. All right, I'm going to be using this particular leather for this particular project. Don't forget, we are creating an open toe with a beautiful flower on top of it. If you want to call it rose, if you want to call it flower, if you want to call it bow, feel free to call it any of them. So I have already taught on how to create back patterns like this. That's why I won't be going through that section for this particular series. And of course, I've taught on how to create this front pattern as well. So all we are going to be doing is we are just going to be placing and placing and cutting. Now I'm not going to leave the edges like this. I'm going to be folding the edges all around. So I'm going to extend it a little bit all around. You can extend your pattern as well, you understand, so that you don't have to do it here. Please don't use your handle. If you're a beginner, please carry your ruler and use it to extend all around by 0.3 or 0.5 centimeter. Then you can easily fold it. So I'm going to do the same thing around here, and you can fold inwards too. It's not by force that it has to look like this. So don't mind all this my extension, just ignore. So with this now, I can go ahead, apply gum all around and fold. I'm going to do this literally to all of them. So I need you to stay with me as we go on this beautiful journey.
That you already gave birth to a child. In fact, there are some families in the part of the world I'm from that they wouldn't even let you get married until your wife or your wife to be is pregnant. They tell you, go and pocket your Christianity. You met us on this earth. What is wrong with you? If you are from that part of the world, wave your hands to me. Thank you. And then they allowed you to get married because you said you were a Christian. First year, second year, third year, fourth year, no child. And then your mother visited the house, or your mother-in-law visited the house and heard you singing. Even if you are happy, you should pocket your happiness. Then you are singing and happy, driving a good car. It is not logical in the world system. But God says, listen, sing, O barren. The script you should have acted is mourn, barren. God said, no. It's a mystery. It is something you can't explain. God says, sing. And I'm not just speaking with ambiguity. I'm talking to you that has never given birth. Break forth into singing like a drunkard. Not just singing gently, sing and cry aloud. You have not labored with child. But eventually, if you do what I'm telling you, more will be your children.
Right, you can see all of this. This is going to be our buckle, and this is going to definitely be the back pattern. So I'm going to be showing us how I'm going to actually be stitching this. Now, I need you to know that if you don't want to stitch, please ensure you don't fold the edges like I folded it. All you need to do is cut your exact size out, apply your contact adhesive on this leather as well as on the one you are using as your lining. And when it's dry, place them on themselves and trim them out neatly. Of course, you're going to do the same thing to the back pattern as well. Just trim it out neatly after you have actually, placed it on the lining. Please, you can see that I didn't cut the lining out before I place my, upper pattern on top of it. Please don't cut it out. After you have applied your contact adhesive on this and on this, and it's dry and you place it together. I'm talking about when you are not stitching now. So after you have done that, that is when you now trim the two of them out. It makes it neat and it makes it also very clean and perfect, because if you cut this out and you also cut the lining out in that shape, you find it very difficult to align it when you are placing it on themselves after you have applied your contact cement adhesive. All right, let's go into stitching it. Now, when it comes to stitching, the first part you're going to be stitching is either you stitch this or you stitch this. Now, nothing is going to be attached to this one, so you can stitch it first. You don't stitch this first. You don't stitch this first, except you don't want to use the machine to actually attach your strap and also your buckle. So what it means is, if I am not going to be stitching, probably I am not stitching. Please, like I said, don't fold the edges of this upper if you are not going to stitch it. If you actually fold the edge and you don't want to stitch, that is where it will start opening up, because the contact adhesive will not be able to hold down this surface with this particular surface. Please, I need you to bear that in mind. So let's say you are not stitching. All you need to do is to use your rivet to hold this down. You can put it in or put it outside. Just use it to hold it down. And also when you trim this out, you also use your rivet to hold it out. Somebody is asking, Madam, I've not made before. What does a rivet look like? Let me show you. So when I say rivets, these are rivets. Now let me show you. You can see that one, they come in a set, in a pair, like this one, and then the cover. This is the cover. It comes with this one and this one. That's how it comes as a set. I remember the last time I think I bought this about is it 100 naira or 200 naira? I think so. I was actually buying it for somebody. I love to buy the pack. How much did I buy the pack? I can't really remember now. I actually bought the pack. So, but you can buy them in dozens. It depends on how they sell, and you just use. So this one alone is enough to hold the buckle strap. This one is also enough to hold the strap if you are not stitching. Now, some people will still stitch and they will still use the rivet. You understand? So it's very possible you can finish stitching, then decide to use your rivet to hold this down. It's definitely not a crime. It comes in different sizes though. It comes in different sizes. This is actually, like a medium size. It's not the smallest. It's not the smallest. The smallest tool will work perfectly well. You just need to make sure that at least this one is a bit long, so that by the time you punch the two, when you punch this and you also punch all of this, it will still pass through conveniently. That is what you should also make sure you pay attention to. So for those who want to see how we are going to be stitching this, let's go right into it. So our first approach is to first of all add our oil. Add your sewing machine oil, just a drop on the surface all around, because this fit that comes with this our machine is not a fit for leather. We use a Teflon fit for stitching leather, and with that you won't be needing oil at all. So this is just for fabric majorly. So let's go. Now you will see that when I'm through with that point, I stop, I raise up the feet and then turn. That also helps you to achieve a very good finishing and a very good stitching process. Now at this point now, one of those things I normally do is when I release the feet back, I stay at that point continuously without allowing the machine to move forward, so that I can seal that point before I move to the next one. Because sometimes when you don't do that, you find out that the thread does not stitch evenly. Like it doesn't stitch evenly on this side. You can see this. It doesn't stitch evenly. So I try to make sure that when I raise it up and turn that way, I ensure that I stay at that point continuously like this. Can you see that it's not moving? Then I will continue moving later. When I turn again, you can see that I still stop and put again. I will still stay at that point before I continue. So I'm going to do the same thing to all of them, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to be inserting them one after the other. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing now is I'm just going to be fixing my buckle and strap to the appropriate place according to my pattern while I was creating the pattern. Of course, if you have checked how to cut children back pattern or even adult back pattern, you find out that there is a place where you can actually, mark this out according to my drawing, model. So I'm going to just place it and then see which one aligns appropriately to know which one is left and which one is right. So that will help me to be able to judge. Okay, then this, let me go this way for this. So with this, I can appropriately pick, you understand, the part where it's going to be. So I'm going to be using I can use my pen to do this, place it appropriately. You can see this. So I'm going to mark this. Don't forget, I wrote S there because S represents the strap. So it means this strap that is curved this way is what will be going in here. So I'm going to open it a bit this way. Insert about 0.5 centimeter and then align it well. As you can see what it looks like. So it's going to go this way. So come to meet this one on this side. Then on this part is going to be our strap. I've already marked it so I can still insert. This is going to be our buckle. You can see I've marked that as well. So my buckle has, a kind of stone attached. So it has left and right. So this is actually for this one because it's dangling here. Now, if I use this one, it means I'm using the wrong one because the dangling is not supposed to be inwards. You understand? So I'm going to insert this at this point right here. So I'm going to put this here and then hold it down. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch as usual.
Is the high priest, Jesus is the high priest. So therefore, by him, let us continually, not sometimes, not a few times, not many times, continually offer the sacrifice of praise to God. And he explains what it is. That is,
you notice that when I was stitching this, I didn't stop like I did when I was stitching the strap. It's because all these parts are going to be going under, under the insole, so we don't need that part. But for this, we need it to be exact and very perfect. That's why I had to go do it that way. So I'm going to trim this off as usual. Don't forget to slant your scissors at the point of cutting so that your lining don't get to show under. So you can see the way I curve my scissors. And while I was stitching, I noticed that my hand came out of the stitch. Sometimes those things happen. Just make sure that you go back and then start, a bit like 1 centimeter, 1 inch away, about 2.5 centimeter away, or just 2 centimeter away, so that you can catch up. That's what happened in between here. So I went back to repick it again, then come back. You understand? So that is what you should always do so that you can have a neat job. Yes, I have to take care of all this. So you're going to go ahead and now, if you already know how to do this, I am not doing it for you. I'm doing it for those people who might not understand how to position their scissors and might not have seen any of my video where I did it before. So just endure with me. And another thing I find out that the more you look at a process, the more your brain, recognizes it, masters it, and helps you to do the same thing as well when you want to do yours. So it goes in this way, and you can see what we have. So I'm going to just do the same thing to the second one, and we are good to go. For the second one, you may not need to use what did they call it again, the pattern. You can just use this, place it on themselves, and mark it. You can see that I place the right side on right side. I didn't do like this. If you do it like this, you will cut the same leg, because you still fix buckle here and still fix strap here, but you're supposed to turn it like this on themselves, so that you can put the strap here and put the buckle here for the second one, so that the two of them will be totally different. All right, so let's go ahead and begin to last. Now for my right and left side of this particular design, this is wider, so this means this part is going to be the right. Because this is wider, this will be the left. So I'm going to just go ahead and place. I think I might have to adjust this so that you can see properly. So I'm going to hold it down this way. Now the amazing thing about this is that you can actually use your child's feet in case you are actually using the shankless insole. I actually, didn't have to make this. It's already made, and it's perfect for all these heels, you understand? So it does a very good job. So they can actually, stand. You can make them stand on it. Make sure the heel is under this. So you ask them to place your leg. They place. I think I've done a video tutorial, on this. You can comment in the comment section. I would love to see how you use a baby's leg to actually fix the heel. Just comment. I would love to see how you use a child's leg or baby girl's leg to, last the heel. And of course, I will share a link with you that you can watch to see that, because I know you may not have this, and you can actually also still make a heel even without having this. So I'm going to place this. This is going to, by itself, show us where it's supposed to be positioned, because you don't want to bring it down, down, down. And if you want to, it means you are creating a slippers. And even as at that, but let me remove it for us to see. Can you see that it really went inwards a lot? But because it's sandal, it's not slippers, we can't place it there. So I'm going to try and bring it up. By the time you watch the video I'm talking about, I'm sure it will show you more on how to position this. So it says 2930. I'm just going to hold it down there, and I'm going to block this other side. Can you see what it looks like? So with this, I'm going to hold this, hold the other part, hold it this way, then turn this way to actually apply my gum. Now you can decide to use the shoe glue. You can also decide to use, your contact adhesive. Just apply here, and fix down. So I'm going to apply. I'm going to hold that down there. Go back to the front and realign this. Hold it down that way. So I want to hold it down as well, like that. So with this, we have the front intact. So we are going to the back. I'm seeing something strange around here, looking like it's not aligning properly.
If it's not aligning, I will definitely remove it and fix it again. No, it's not aligning. It's not centralizing like I want it to. It's supposed to be at the center. There is a look that the center should have. Yes, now I can see it. So I can also reduce my leather. I can reduce it. So I'm going to hold it down as usual. Come back again and do the needful here. So after this, let's go to the back. So I'm going to pull this and also pull this. So So we're going to finish the sides, all of this side. You can also reduce that, but at this point you need to know that this one you want to use your tip to fold it in, because it must not form any crease at the side. This side should be smooth. It should be smooth. So if your gum didn't get to that side, you can still add. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side too. Can you see what I'm trying to do? So this one now, you can decide to cut it out. Cut this way. So with that, you have a very neat look at the back part. So this is what we have. So if it were to be a slippers, it means we are good to go this week. This way that it is, if it's a slippers, we're just going to put the outer sole and then we will move on. But it is not. So we'll just have the outer sole. Place this and we are good to go. I'm sure you know we can use this as just another ordinary slippers. You can actually create this for a mom and a daughter. The daughter's own can have what we can have back pattern, while the mom's own is just this way, and it's going to be a sweet match. yeah, for your outing. Come on. It's supposed to be either 5 or 4.5. So I believe because it's heel, that's why we can be thinking about using 5. But if it's 4.5 or 4 is also okay for them. So you have what I have here. So it can be that high as well. But 4.5, 4 is perfectly okay for their age range. So with this, you can actually pick what point you want to punch. So after picking that part, you punch forward by about 1 centimeter difference. Also punch backward, like away from that part in case it's has to be adjusted inwards. So we have 4. I'm going to duplicate that on the second leg, on the second strap as well. So I'm just going to duplicate this on the second leg as well. Alright, the next thing we're going to be doing now is we are going to be applying our PU gum, of course, to our finished shoe. Now, what I did to this particular beautiful bow heel is I just fill this place with with an interface, all this interface material that is used by sewing mistress. This is popularly called wadi, and it has different thickness. So that's what that's what I use to fill this part, so that by the time I'm bottoming, it will be, you know, easier for me, you know, when I am bottoming. So I'm just going to apply the, you know, PU gum. You can see some call it transparent gum. I'm going to apply it all over. Of course, I'm going to be adding, I find out that the PU gum has different types. There are some that are actually made in Nigeria. There are some that are imported. I find out that one way or the other, the two are different. I don't know how. It's my supplier that explained that to me. So I don't know whether it's wrong or right, but all I know is that there is a particular chemical gum, which we call it in Nigeria ASTD PU gum, that we use here that does not bond very well as the usual one. So I'm going to be adding hardener. This is my container of hardener. This is how the container look like. Some are sold in small injection bottles as well. So, but this is the one I bought. So I'm just going to add few drops. So I'm going to now mix after. I think that's enough. So I'm going to mix it with it. This is just to make the sole durable, that's all. As in, it will bond very well, and then it will last. You know, it's not like, oh, they will come and return it to you and say, okay, oh, it's not okay, oh, it's not working properly, oh, no. Or like the shoe pull off on sole. So those ones, you can avoid it by actually adding this and then mixing it with it. So after all of the heating, have been able to put this together, just heat and then, you know, place it. That's just the major thing at this point. Now we're going to go ahead and fix this part. That is the next thing we're going to be doing. We're going to be placing our top heel right here and then screwing it down. That is the next step. So you can actually use nail. You can use nail. It doesn't have to be this. But if you are using nail for this kind of insole, you have to nail the corner, because when you check inside, you find out that it has corner. All this place, these are the side you can nail. This corner here, this one, and this one. I believe 2 is enough. If you want to add 3, it's fine. It depends on the kind of nail. If you are using this kind of nail, this is quite long, and I believe 2 of these should be enough for them if you are using this kind of nail. So you will put it right at the side here, and if you want to use screw, you can use something like this. Just ensure that at least you check and it will go right inside there, you know, very well. I'm going to start, you know, from the center. That's what I'm going to do. Place this here, then try to screw it down. So you just want to check and be sure. Okay, you can see that this is not in the right condition. So I can actually unscrew a bit to correct that. In short, I can use my screwdriver at this point because it will have created that opening that I need already. So my screwdriver can screw this down. So I will continue to adjust and check it. Now you can see that this is much more appropriate as far as the position is concerned. So you can see what I have here. Now if I still want to try to nail down, I can still do that. I'm just going to, pull this here and nail it inside that place and also nail it. But this one is not going to remove. This one, there are children. There are no tendencies that the screw will actually pull out. So that, for me, just that one is enough. It's enough for them. It will not pull out. So the next thing we are just going to do is we are going to fix our cushion, whatever you want to use here. If you want to use foam, if you want to use your sponge foam, which is also, some people call it sponge foam, some call it EVA foam, some call it Mako. Like in Nigeria, we call it Mako. So if you want to, and if you want to actually use ordinary foam, I mean the normal mattress foam, you can also, it depends on you. So I'm just going to, this is my socks lining. Now if you buy this particular insole from us, it comes with all of these. It comes with the template. I don't mean it comes with EVA foam. I mean it comes with the template you are going to use to cut it. It comes with the template you are also going to use to cut this one as well. So the template for also the outer sole, it comes with it. Please, when I mean template, this is what I mean. It comes with a template like this that is actually photocopy. You just trim it out, in that photocopy, and then you place it on your outer sole material and cut out. The same thing with this one. Now you will get your socks lining. This is socks lining. From this, there's a part you will just fold, and then you have it just like this. Is not for this one, so let me get the one that is for this one. This is my personal copy. So from this is my what I used to cut my outer sole. So I'm just going to put it inside and check where to stop my socks lining. So you want to ensure that it's not coming out of where you started lacing. It must not come out. So you mark where you want it to stop, then you place it, on the leather and cut out. That's just basically how to go about your socks lining. If you check this, you find out that this is where I stopped it. Can you see? It's the same thing. And all I'm going to do is just place it inside in such a way that, of course, it will not be showing. You can see what it looks like. You can see that it's not exceeding this point. It's not exceeding. So you have to make sure that you check that. It must not show outside unnecessarily. So let's go ahead and just fix our socks lining and our cushion for this, so that we can see how to finish this particular design. So I'm going to apply my gum on the surface. So if this is going in here, I'm going to apply my adhesive on this part, just a little. So when it's dry, I'm going to arrange it into it. So the next thing is just to apply my gum and also fix this, and we are good to go. Looks like. Of course, this is what our ears look like. Now you can decide to actually leave this way if you so want it to be. Don't forget, I've not actually branded it. I've not put my stamp or label on it. My logo is not yet on it. You can actually leave it this way. This is simply gorgeous. But because it is for a baby, it's for children, I'm going to be attaching this bow. Now, I have taught how to create this bow on my Facebook profile. If you're not following me on Facebook, please go check it out. Ojurole Mojibola. We also have the business page, which is Jibbyfemforte. You can check on either of those pages or those profile, and you will be able to see this particular bow how I created it. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach it. I told them on my Facebook that I will be showing how to attach it right here, so that's why we are here. So this is what I'm going to be having. I have this strap. I measured about 2 centimeters, 2.5 centimeters, so I fold them, you know, towards themselves after applying gum, and that's what we have. Now before I go into that, I have a little cutie butterfly accessory I'm going to be attaching to it. So let's go. So this is going to be, since it's going to be this way, I'm going to come this way, and this is going to be at here. So I'm going to attach my butterfly at the center here. At the center here. So let me attach it, because it's a sew on. I'm going to be sewing it around down there, so you can see it has an opening here where I'm going to be inserting this. So let's arrange it properly. So it means I just want to use it to pick the position I'm going to be using. So I'm using my sewing thread. I'm going to leave a little down, pass it through it, then I'm going to come this way. I actually bought my beautiful butterfly online. I bought it online, so you can see what I have right here. So this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to cut off the thread and then knot it down at the back there. You can do it whichever way you so desire, but this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm also going to be using my glue to just hold it down in case this is not working. So you can see this. So I'm just going to put a little there just to hold it down there, so I can easily, you know, knot it once again. So now that I've fixed this, don't forget it's going to look like this on it. So I'm going to now go ahead and hold it down at the back. So you can see what we have. In short, I can actually create a bow for them with this, like a bow. I'm just going to insert it under, and then we have an air bow. I'll just put an elastic band in between before I seal this place down, and you have, you know, also an hair bow for them. So at this point, what do I do here? Because most times when you use glue to fix this, it end up falling, it end up coming out. So I'm just going to try as much as possible to attach this part and this part to this surface. That's all I'm going to be doing. So you also want to ensure you are positioning it at the right place, because that's another thing. You want to make sure that it's at the right place. If you have to use a shoe last so that you know where to position it, is fine. So our shoe last will have been the most appropriate. Let me pick up the shoe last for us to put inside and check it out. So we just want to locate this center so that it will be at that center. Can you see it now? So we can just use this to locate that point. I can remove it. I've already picked what I want to pick from that. So I'm going to go ahead and use my needle again. You can see I use my sewing thread. It's quite a big ant sewing needle. So I'm going to make it come out on this side just a bit, so that it will not be showing, but at least it will still come out. So we still have something here. I still have extra that I'm going to use to finish it here. At this point, I'm going to insert it into this place. I don't want to move it away yet. Don't want to move it away yet from that point. But I'm just going to pass it through it. I'm just going to pass through. So when I pass it through it, then we can easily pick the next point. So I'm going to also pick this part. I'm sure you can see that this is staying perfectly well. So I'm going to go to the next part, which will be this one. Also do the same thing and do the same thing on this side, and our bow is beautifully ready and perfect for, you know, this particular. Now I can decide to actually stitch this here, like stitch it down at this corner. I say stitch, knot it down here so that it doesn't start shaking around and we don't have too much, you know, rope under the footwear. So we have to be very careful with that. So I'm going to knot it under that place.